Fairly interesting question, to be honest. If you go and you go to Reddit last year after the O-levels and look at the Reddit comments, they are saying that they hope that Wei's candle making business burns his house down. That's normal. The year before, it was the solar panels, right? Yeah, so they were saying, we hope the solar panels that he tries to install in his roof collapses. Just Reddit things. Now,
this is your for O-level math papers for last questions.
What do you mean?
Like the real world application questions. This is what your Reddit users do.
I'm not a Reddit user.
Yeah, you just debate about math in your lonely math group every day, every night.
Wei starts a small business making candle. He makes the candles by pouring wax and fragrance oil into a mold, and he uses a length of string as the wick. The tables below show information Wei uses to calculate the materials he needs. So what do we know here? The total mass of the candle in grams is 0.765 times the volume of mole in cubic centimeters. The total mass of a candle equals to the mass of wax plus the mass of your fragrance oil, and the mass of the fragrance oil is equal to 8% of the mass of wax. So if you think about it, it just means that it's equal to 108% of wax. Correct or not? So when we are doing real world applications, we try to simplify as much of the question as possible so that we don't need to work through so many things. Okay?
Where'd you get 108%? Oh. Yeah.
In fact, you can even take the 108%, right, and then go and multiply it by 0.765. Actually, no, divide by 0.765, but anyway, we deal with that later. Okay? Then they also tell you that 1 ml of fragrance oil has a mass of 1 gram. That cannot be the case. You know why that cannot be the case?
Density.
What object or what
Oil has a lower density.
What thing has 1 ml equals to 1 gram? It is only water. That means no. You know what it means?
That's fragrance water, not oil.
It means he cheated. Instead of putting fragrance oil, he put water. We discovered that he runs a scam. Anyway, the wick is 5 mm longer than the height of the candle. All masses are calculated correct to the nearest gram. Wei makes a candle using a mold in the shape of a cube with a length of 5 cm. Find the total mass of the candle. So you need to find volume, right? So mass of candle is, oops. You know it's late when I cannot even spell candle anymore. Mass of candle is equal to 0.765 times the volume of the mole. The volume of the mole in this case, if it's a cube, is 5 to the power of 3. I hope you know that. So 95.625, or actually I will just leave it in 95 and 5 out of 8. They will accept the 3SF value or the exact value in decimal. They are quite lenient about that. The total mass of another candle is 150. Show that the mass of wax used for this candle is 139 grams. So we know that the total mass of a candle is 150. You want to find the mass of wax. What is the mass of wax used? The mass of a candle in grams is equal to the mass of wax plus mass of fragrance oil, right? So we already established that of this 105 is 100% of wax, right? And 8% of oil. Agree? And therefore, mass of wax is just equal to 150 out of 108 times 100, which will give you 138.8. One three eight and 8 out of 9, which is equal to 139 in 3SF. Bracket shown. Okay. 4 marks. Primary school question, literally. You wish your primary school questions were this easy for 4 marks, right?
Okay, over the last part.
You skip the last one. Okay, then what do you do for the last part? Wei makes 2 sizes of candle using cylindrical mold. So the first thing they tell you that the volume is a cylinder. Okay, you need to know your formula for cylinder. What's the formula for cylinder? Pi r square h, correct? The cylinders are geometrically similar. So then they tell you that they are similar figures. The height of the smaller cylinder is 8. So obviously you use the there are many acceptable answers for this question because the question says he wants to make a small profit. So what is a small profit is something that is up to you to kind of define and justify. All right. But the small profit here refers to profit per candle, not total profit. It is profit per candle. Okay. So we have the height of the smaller cylinder. So what can we find? We can find the height of the larger cylinder by what? By what?
Similarity.
By similar figures. Height of larger cylinder equals to 8 times 6/4, right? Which will give me, I suspect that will give you 1 mark already. Telling me that the height of the larger cylinder is 12. Why do we need to know the height of the cylinder? Because you need to know the length of the wick. Right? Now we have to look at this whole awful thing. And you need to ask yourself, which type of wax do you want to buy? Which type of fragrance oil do you want to buy? Your wick is always 15 cm long per 10 pieces. The question here is, the wick must be 5 mm longer than the height of the candle. Five mm is what? 0.5 cm. 5 mm is 0.5 cm. Be very careful. Some students not very familiar with the conversion for mm. Okay. So do you use the bigger, do you buy more fragrance oil or which one do you use? So you also need to justify. So you are likely going to argue that you will buy the one that costs less, right? You will buy the one that costs less. Agree? Less per ml and less per unit mass. Right? The question here is, okay, we assume that the wick cannot be cut because you need the size. It cannot be cut because your wick length need to be what? This needs to be 8.5 cm wick length, right? This needs to be 12.5 cm wick length. So there is no way that you can cut your wick because they are in 15 what? If you cut it, then you won't be able to use them already what? So your wick cannot be cut. So that is also a consideration that you need to take into account. Okay? So what do we need to find? We need to find the cost of making one large and the cost of making one small. So to do that, I need to find what? Volume of small candle equals to pi r square h. You need the value, so you don't leave it in terms of pi. So you will have 402.12. And then you will have volume of large candle. You can either find it directly, or you can find it using similar figures, up to you. But I would just find it directly. Pi r square h, which is 12. How did I get 4 square just now? Ay. This is 3 square. Let me fix that. That is 339.29. Press calculator wrongly just now. Pi times 2 square times 8 should be 100.53. So these are the two volumes, right? So how much would one small candle cost? You need to find the cost of 1 wick. You need to find the cost of the wax, and you need to find the cost of the fragrance oil. Right? So you need to find the mass of the candle. And of the mass of the candle, you need to apportion 100. It is a total of 108%, right? And you need to apportion 100% of that to wax and 8% of that to oil. So you need to first tell me mass of small candle equals to 0.765 times 100.53, which will give me 76.905. Right? And we will have the mass of large candle, which will be 339.29 times 0.765, which will give me 259.56 in 5SF. And I forgot to write the step. Okay. So mass of small candle, mass of large candle. So your small candle, you have your wax and you have your oil. What would the mass of wax be? The mass of wax would be 76.905 out of 108 times 100. So this will be 71.208 grams. Times 8 will give me 5.697 grams. 6967 actually. Right? 1 ml has mass of 1 gram, so they will be equal. Right? And therefore, the cost is equal to $26 divided by 1000 grams times 71.208 grams plus the cost of the wax would be 60 ml is 60 gram, right? So $22 divided by 60 times 5.697 0.67 to find the approximate total cost. Okay, so this will cost approximately $3.94. That is how much your small candle would cost. So we go ahead and do the same for the large candle. So your wax and oil mass, large candle 259.56 is your mass, right? So you have to divide by 108 times 100 to give the mass of wax, which is 240.33 grams. The mass of your oil would be 19.227 grams, right? And therefore the cost over here would be equal to 26 out of 1000 times 240.33 plus 22 out of 60 times 19.227, which will give me $13.30. And therefore, to make a small profit, he should charge maybe $5 for a small candle and $15 for a large candle. Done. There will be a range of acceptable answers because the way you solve for it may be slightly different depending on what. But the examiner wants to see the logical thought process. Wow, I ended on time. The world is going to end. The examiner just wants to see a logical thought process. Shit. I forgot something. What did I forget? What did I forget?
Dollar sign.
No, I forgot the cost of the week. Oh no. 10 pieces for $8. So what is the cost of 1 week?
You need to buy one from each, right? You just add
So $8 divided by 10, right? Is it 10 pieces? Yes. So 1 piece is 80 cents. So you need to plus 0.80. No, stay. Plus 80 cents. So this changes the price. So the cost now is $4 and 3.94 plus 80 is, wow, plus 0.8. I mean, it's $4.74. And then this one need to plus 80 cents also. So this will be 14.10. So something like that. So interestingly, my value still works. All right, but there will be a bunch of other possible answers that they will accept depending on how you do your calculations. Okay, so please remember to include the week. All right. Okay, as far as real world application question goes, I don't think this was too difficult. Okay. Any questions?